Welcome. This event is to bring to national attention colleges and universities whose institutional leaders first made the decision to be part of the national network Presidents for Latino Student Success. These institutions, all of them, have made a commitment that on their watch, Latino student success would increase. Within this network, which started in 2014 and now in 2023 numbers over 170 institutions, are a set of institutions that have chosen to go beyond their certification as institutions in their state, or their certification in the district, or their certification in all the different structures in which colleges and universities abide by and move forward. Some of you have decided that in all that you do to volunteer, to engage in a process which looks at what we have articulated at Excelencia in Education, and Deborah Santiago, our co-founder, has designed, is a framework of data, practice, leadership, and to look at that in a systematic way within the context of each institution that is led by an administrator, a chancellor, a president, who has for themselves an expectation that they will do more. That as challenging as the job may be, as challenging as the circumstances may be, that they will do more. And by doing more, with purpose and intentionality, they expand the capacities of their institutions to intentionally serve Latino students while serving all. That's my way of introducing what we're going to do for the next hour. We also assert our prerogative as a national organization based in Washington, D.C., to capitalize not just on the capacity to go down the street and talk to people in the seat of government, but to interact with leaders who share a responsibility for our country, but most specifically for the capacity of higher education to respond to today's students. That is another driver of how we have constructed the 2023 Seal of Excelencia national announcement. At this point, I would like to call on mi colega, Deborah Santiago, to expand a bit more on this structure, this certification, invented on a public stage, and that is animating colleges and universities. And then to call on our special guest, and the really important part, to introduce the institutions certified and recertified in 2023. Deborah Santiago.
Well, we have a full room here, so if you don't mind, we're live streaming this. Could you make a little bit of noise so the people that are watching can hear a little bit of the room, what's going on? Yes. Thank you all. Part of the reason I say that this is a recognition, a celebration of institutions that have told a story to an ignorant audience, those of us that are not on the ground on your campuses, about what you're doing to make sure that your students are served, and that you can start that conversation with your Latino students, but ensure that in redesigning and transforming your institution, all of your students are served well. You are doing higher education differently. And that's critical for us as we think about policy, about scale, about what it means for students of today and tomorrow, and not just the students that we used to have back in the day, right? So I have the opportunity to just give you a little bit more context. Sarita shared a little bit about where we are now. The idea for the Seal of Excelencia, which we launched in 2019, was an idea that came from listening and learning from institutions. 20 plus years of hearing institutions talk about what they were doing with their students that didn't quite align with the metrics we were using at the national level, that with a narrative and stories that were so much richer than the baseline things that we were seeing in an aggregated way. And the complexity of not just who walks in the door and who crosses the stage, but what institutions have a little bit more control over, and that's what happens between when they walk in and when they cross that stage, as the euphemism goes. The second part of this, so there was listening and learning in institutions, but also this construct of Hispanic serving institution, a political construct, has value and importance, but that we'd often talk to institutions that where enrollment was enough. And we saw that, many institutions became HSIs because of demography and geography and not intentionality and impact. And we could talk to institutions that hit that number, 25%, ready to apply for federal funds and often didn't acknowledge or own being an HSI unless they were applying for federal money. It wasn't something that there was an identity or clarity about. And while all of that is legal and fine, it felt like it didn't hit the spirit or the intent of what it meant to be an HSI. And so listening and learning institutions, we said, there is more. There is more. We want students to do well because of the institution, not despite the institution, right? And especially our young, fast-growing Latino population. And that it is within our control, and as Sarita said, on our watch, that we can do something about that. And so, this structure, looking at data, practice, and leadership, there are things that guide excellence in education, but it's learned from the institutions themselves. Data are the language of decision makers, so even if they don't know your institution or community, there is some level of understanding, but leaving it there masks kind of the richness and the critical work that institutions are doing day in and day out in serving the students and meeting them where they're at. So we, in listening institutions, said we have to show a measure of intentionality. So what is the framework? I'll just put it out there for those that are interested and don't know, and really to acknowledge the critically hard work these institutions have done in telling their story, which they can tell in many different ways, but we ask them to do so with a Latino lens to ensure that while they're serving all, they're paying attention and know that Latino students are doing as well or better than others, and that they know where they can invest and improve and where they can celebrate and scale up in more robust ways. So it's not complicated, right? This is what we learned. So data are critical. We asked institutions for 5 years of data. We don't have benchmarks. There's not a threshold you have to meet. We ask institutions to compare to themselves. We don't compare one institution to another. Each institution has its journey and its effort and the student population and the service area they're serving. But within those 5 years of data, is there positive momentum? If there isn't, what kinds of practices and investments are they making to address those data issues? We know with the pandemic and the disproportionate impact on our community that a lot of our institutions that serve many Latinos saw a drop in enrollment. Well, what we were looking for is then, what are you doing to address that in a way that is authentic to your institution in a meaningful way? So 5 years of data along 6 areas, asking, are you enrolling? Are you retaining? Are you transferring? Are you representing with faculty and staff? And are you graduating Latino students? All of those are things that we know institutions have some measure of control over. And frankly, we know there's publicly available data because you will have to report it to the Department of Education, right, when you participate in Title IV. So not rocket science. But I will tell you that the opportunity to take a look at your data, take a look at least 3 evidence-based practices in each of those 6 areas, and then looking at how connected they are in their strategies, that tells a story of an institution's intentionality. Do you see your students amongst the work you're doing? Do you know how Latino students are performing and the opportunity to either invest more, scale up, or in some cases, institutions who pivoted and found that their work was not working, And we're clear enough with us saying we've changed because the data and the practice told us it wasn't working. That's part of being authentic, intentional in your work, is not just saying we're doing the best things in the world, but we're on a journey of transformation to make sure our students are served and served well. And it's on us to do that and meet them where they're at, rather than just expecting students to figure it all out on their own. There is that responsibility and commitment. That's what we see in the Seal certified institutions. Until today, we had 30 institutions that earned the Seal of Excelencia, and we very explicitly say earned. For those that have been involved in doing the self-assessment for the seal, it is not for the faint of heart, right? Would you all agree? No, all right. All right. But it's part of this journey. So many institutions have told us the value of taking a look, not just their data, but the practice, and creating teams to look at an institution. So it means combining your institutional research team with your academic affairs and student support services. That in and of itself creates the potential for kind of transformation and awareness of people of good intent that are working in their silos, doing their part to see your students through a different lens, a combined lens. And the power of that for those that choose to do something about it, piloting something new or investing or doubling down, that's the power of these 30 institutions. And we have institutions that have applied multiple times. Again, not for the faint of heart. Their commitment, their persistence, their commitment to their students, and making sure that they are engaging, that's so powerful and educational for us as we look to this journey and what institutions are doing, and their commitment to continue to evolve and serve their students well. So that's a little bit of background and context. Let me give you one last data point, because I do love data. As those of you know me, I always talk about this. It's a simple thing. Those 30 institutions disproportionately enroll and graduate Latino students. Disproportionately, right? 30 institutions, less than 1% of institutions in this country enroll over 10% of all Latinos, graduate over 14% of all Latinos, just of the 30. That's amazing. That's power. That's impact. And as we were talking earlier about policy, how do we address that success at scale in a way that doesn't just rest with us and what we're doing, but as a community of common cause? That's the value and the strength of it. Today, we're going to be acknowledging another group of institutions that join that powerful cohort and combined are even more concentrated and certainly hitting above their weight class in enrolling, sustaining, supporting, enrolling, graduating our Latino students. That's why we're here to recognize, to celebrate, to be in common cause in a meaningful way. That's a little bit of the background and the context. Happy to follow up for those of you who want to know what this is about. This is about making sure that the institutions that are actually leading the nation but aren't always recognized in the basic metrics are seen, because these are the institutions serving the majority of students and the students that we need to be addressing, and what they're doing is transforming higher education. We need to pay attention to what they're doing, invest in it, and make sure that we're listening and learning to figure out how to serve the students of today and tomorrow. With that, I'm going to hand it back to Sarita, who's going to get us going with the program. Thank you.
At this point, it is our honor to introduce an accomplished policy expert, a staunch advocate for the use of public policy to serve all the citizens of this country, an architect of the Affordable Care Act, a principal in the founding of the Center for American Progress, a colleague of longstanding. Deborah and I had the privilege of meeting Nira years ago when Hillary Clinton held the first convening on Latino youth in 1999. It is our immense pleasure to call you to the podium. Nira Tandon, White House Domestic Policy Council Chair.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for that warm introduction, Sarita. I remember I was just a young pup in those days, and so I was so pleased that you remember the work we did together. It's really just an honor to be with so many great leaders who are working to transform your colleges and universities to meet the needs of students today. So we're grateful for that. I want to start by wishing everyone here a happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you. And really, we are just profoundly grateful for what you're already doing to ensure that your colleges and universities are making progress on Latino student success. I think, as Deborah said, we are here to take it to the next level, but I did really want to just acknowledge the fantastic work of Excelencia in Education as a partner and ally in this endeavor with us, and as a partner and ally in your endeavors as well. For the past 19 years, Excelencia's data-driven and results-oriented approach has led the way for leaders in higher education to advance equity for Latino students. We're incredibly grateful for that leadership because we know our country needs the talent and energies of Latino students who strive to earn an education to serve their families, community, and our country. Just basically, the success of America's Latino community is important to this country, and educating every Latino student to meet their potential is important to the success of this country. We need to remind leaders of that every day. Oh yeah, sure, that's a clap. We know it's critical for our economic strength, our future workforce, and our collective leadership. And again, on a personal note, I really just want to say how grateful I am to be with Sarita and Deborah. As everyone knows, they're really punch above their weight and really drove our convening, the White House Conference, the first convening ever on Latino youth, as they said, the White House Conference on Hispanic Education back in the late 1990s. As noted, that was the first ever White House event held just on Latino youth. But it really reminds us of how far we have come in the last 23 years. In 2000, we had a major crisis. 28% of Latino students were dropping out of high school, more than any of their peers. Today, that rate has been cut by a third, bringing Latino high school dropout rates down to 8%. We've also seen a 150% increase in Latino enrollment in U.S. colleges and universities. That means 2.2 million more Latino students. So I really want to thank Excelencia in Education and the leaders in this room who have been working hard to increase those numbers. I will also note the Biden-Harris administration has appointed a record 4 Latino cabinet secretaries, including my great friend, Miguel Cardona, who is the Secretary of Education and who focuses like a light beam on laser beam, and making sure that our policies are addressing all students, including Latino students. Representative leadership is critical, and that's why we think it is really vital that we grow the number of people in our administration so that our administration really truly represents the country. Now, despite the success, we do know we have a lot of work going forward, and it is a focus of the Biden-Harris administration that we address these challenges. Despite the prominence of Latino students in our nation's schools and colleges, we continue to see disparities in post-secondary education outcomes. We disturbingly continue to see a widening completion gap between Latino students and their white peers. According to Unidos US, only 54% of Latinos complete at four-year colleges. Only 21% of Latinos enrolled in two-year public colleges graduate. And student debt is a huge burden for Latino students. And that's exactly why this conversation is so important, why the work that's being done here is so important, why I really want to be here. Because things like the Seal of Excelencia really demonstrate that the focus on Latino students and completion is a focus for higher education writ large. And I really liked what Deborah said about The steps taken here, the steps of your institution, are transforming higher education to meet the students of today. As we work into the 21st century, as we face a diversifying workforce, diversifying student bodies, sometimes there's a little backlash against those diversifying student bodies, but we have to be clear that your institutions represent the leadership of our country going forward. You basically hold the future in your hands. That is why it's so vital that you are addressing all of your students' needs, because if you don't, then we are basically clipping the future of our country to be a truly representative democracy. So that's why I'm so excited to be here and to be with you in this important work. It also allows us to think through how we are addressing the needs of Latino students, obviously in higher education, but we know higher education is impacted by K-12 education as well as impacted by early education. So as we think through how Latino students are moving through the systems of education, it's important for us to focus really at the beginning. That's why childcare is so crucial to our success as a nation. The administration has made it a priority to help families make affordable, accessible childcare and education a reality. We know how critical it is to our families, how childcare costs are a huge cost driver for Latino families, American families overall. Childcare enables parents to work. It enables parents to actually balance work and family. It enables our society of a strong workforce and a growing economy, and it invests in the real potential of every child. That's true for Latino families in particular. 25% of children benefiting from child care assistance come from Latino families. That's why we are so incredibly proud of the increased investment in child care. The President secured a 30% increase in the Child Care Development Block Grant. He's also secured an additional $1 billion in Head Start. More than a third of Head Start recipients are Latino. And the President is working to ensure that we expand funding for childcare. We recognize that there are deep, deep demands on childcare services, that our childcare institutions are buckling under because they are under-resourced. So as we go into the budget cycle for the next few months, we are hopeful that we will get additional resources. Of course, it's a little bit of an elephant in the room that the government may shut down this weekend. It's important to remember that when we're talking about Head Start or any of these programs that truly serve our most needy, the idea that we would shut the government down for no particular reason, which will just hurt our most needy, is truly outrageous. So I couldn't yes. Nevertheless, we imagine we will be through this process, and as we go through an end-of-year appropriations process, we hope and expect to have additional child care resources. I do also want to say that when it comes to K-12 education, we have been focused on with a laser-like focus on student academic achievement. We know there are disparities in academic achievement, and that is why we have, with the leadership of Secretary Cardona, outlined a strategy of really addressing kids who are being left behind. In the post-pandemic era, we see that too many students have not made up for the learning loss that they experienced. We also deeply, deeply appreciate how students of color see a widening achievement gap. That is why it is a top focus of the Department of Education to ensure that resources are being allocated to the kids who need it the most. We are providing additional tutoring, additional resources, summer school for kids that are being identified as falling behind. We do see an epidemic of absenteeism amongst students, a broad range of students, but students of color in particular. And that is why we are working aggressively with states and local school districts to ensure that they are engaging parents. They are doing whatever they can to ensure that students are in school. Kids cannot learn if they are not in school. Kids who do not attend school are falling behind. And so this next year is a time for us to be incredibly aggressive in what we do to ensure that we reduce achievement gaps, not see them expand. But finally, I want to obviously focus on higher education because of the important work of these institutions in our higher education system of Hispanic serving colleges and universities. So we are proud of the fact that a record $15 billion have been invested in the Biden administration in Hispanic serving colleges and universities, including $40 million in new grants for science and engineering programs announced just this week. We're also proud of the fact that a $900 increase in the maximum Pell Grant has taken place during the Biden-Harris administration, the largest increase over a decade. Yes, oh, I see applause. It's critical to remember that 65% of Latino undergraduates rely on Pell Grants, and this is a critical step going forward. The President Biden and the First Lady have also championed their proposal to provide free community college to all Americans, including Dreamers, and 2 years of tuition assistance at minority-serving institutions. We are ensuring that we are working to ease the burden of student debt as well, which we know falls heaviest on Black and Latino students. On our watch, more than $117 billion in student loans have been canceled for 3.4 million borrowers. And our new SAVE program will cut in half what the average Latino borrower has to repay. Let me just spend a minute on the new SAVE program. The new SAVE program is an income-based repayment plan. But what we've done is we've been able to drive down the average costs. So students have to pay less of their income. We've reduced the number from 10% of their income to 5%, saving debt holders of debt $1,000 a year. So I really want to get the word out on the SAVE program. It is an incredibly important part of the work we do going forward. We are continuing to reduce student debt. That is a big focus. We have a rulemaking that's ongoing over the next year. But in the meantime, it is critical for people to take advantage of this program. It is 4.4 million people have taken advantage of it so far, but millions more can. And it will dramatically reduce the debt burden and really reduce the hardship so many people are experiencing with their debt. I'm really proud of what the administration has accomplished in these areas, but I know that we cannot do the work of addressing the needs of Latino students alone. There's much that we can do to set the field up right, but it is your institutions making the efforts around directly addressing the needs of Latino students to ensure that students who are coming to college are graduating. We know students who leave college are worse off economically than those people who leave without a degree are worse off than those those people who never even go because of the debt burden. So the focus of Excelencia in education and your focus on ensuring that all your students are graduating with the degrees that will help them contribute to their communities, to our economy, and to our country's future is so vital. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful for all of your work.
So let's give Neera another round of applause. So knowing that this is being live streamed, I'm going to punctuate something Deborah's already mentioned. In the room here at the Mayflower Hotel are over 300 people representing 75 different colleges and universities that are part of the network. Online, we have institutional teams from many of the institutions that are here in the room, as well as nonprofit organizations across the country. Our good friends at Diverse Issues in Higher Education have made sure that the live stream is available, as have the leadership from the foundation world that has helped us bring this to you today and will bring the work on an ongoing basis. And I'm going to ask two of them to wave, and that's the Kresge Foundation and the Lumina Foundation. And now we really are going to begin. What will happen is that Deborah and I will bring to the stage with the announcement of which institution has earned certification. At that point, the person representing the institution will come on stage. At that time, if the institution is organized and doing activities, as we like to say, back at the ranch, there will be a shout out, and then we will move forward. The purpose of all of this is clearly to punctuate the institutions that Excelencia has the privilege of bringing to national attention because of what you do every day and what we're able to say about you because of your courage, your fortitude, your work to pursue certification. So we will now begin with the first institution that has earned certification as a new institution, the Seal of Excelencia in 2023, is Angelo State University, represented by President Ronnie D. Hawkins.
Thank you very much, Sarita, and my heartfelt thanks to you, Deborah, and everyone in Excellencia in Education for your vision and steadfast tenacity to get us to this point in time this morning. I know I only have a very short period of time, and I witnessed firsthand Deborah walking up to speakers who took too long to make their point yesterday. However, I must say it is great to see everyone up close and in person instead of in the Hollywood squares in the Zoom. It was no small task for Angelo State to earn the Seal of Excelencia, nor should it have been. We collectively set about on this journey 2 years ago to see if we met the standards of recognition by Excelencia, and here we are today. A special note of thanks and recognition goes to the Angelo State SEAL team, not the U.S. Navy SEAL team, a team that's much better. The 20-plus members led by Dr. Flor Leos, who is with me today, and Miss Brandy Hawkins, no relation to me, who could not have been here today. Our SEAL team came together to gather, analyze, and present the data in a clear and meaningful manner. I also want to recognize Maria Garcia Hawkins, the First Lady at ASU and a definite relation to me, who is with me here today and a strong supporter of all things Angelo State. Excelencia's multifaceted approach to reaching the common cause through data analysis and its framework that leads to student success fits right in with Angelo State's core values and strategic priorities to address not only how we intentionally serve Latino students, but how we serve all students. We subscribe to the belief that all boats rise with the tide, and much respect and commendation to Excellencia in Education to help us innovate policies and practices to serve Latino and all students more intentionally. We have a motto at Angelo State that we share with our faculty, staff, and students, that we are in the business of changing family trees. 46 years ago, I walked across the stage at ASU, the ASU, and my family tree forever changed. I stand before you today as a proud alum of Angelo State University and can confidently say Excelencia has put our university on a path, an intentional path, to remove barriers and ensure student success, retention, and ultimately the graduation of our Latino students and all students who come through the portal at Angelo State. On behalf of the students, faculty, and staff of Angelo State, Chancellor Ted Mitchell of the Texas Tech University System and the Texas Tech University System Board of Regents, led by Chairman Mark Griffin, it is my honor and privilege to accept this prestigious recognition from Excelencia. To my colleagues, past and present, congratulations to you for earning this recognition as well. We are honored to be one of only 39 institutions of higher education to earn the Seal of Excelencia among the 571 Hispanic serving institutions and 401 emerging Hispanic serving institutions. It speaks to our focus of advancing Latino student success while also aligning with Texas higher education initiatives. Thank you very much.
Well, all right, Angelo, say it. Good to see you guys there and your foam fingers. Awesome. Impressive work. Thank you all. The next institution we want to announce as having earned the Seal of Excelencia is California State University, Long Beach, represented by President Jane Close Connolly.
Well, thank you, Deborah, and certainly everyone involved with Excelencia Education. It's a pleasure and really a privilege to be here with all of you and to be representing Cal State Long Beach on this very special day. On behalf of the university that we call the Beach, it's a great name, yeah. I want to thank everyone at Excelencia in Education. We are thrilled, really, to be receiving the seal and to be in the company of all of you who are doing such extraordinary things who are also being honored. We're excited to join this wonderful community of action led by the country's leading authority on and the driver of Latino student success. And to building our momentum so we can keep improving Latino student success and the success of all of our students on our campus. Earning the Seal of Excelencia is gratifying and affirming. But more than anything, it's encouraging. It deepens our commitment to the ongoing work of building a richly diverse, equitable, and inclusive campus, one where students are intentionally and comprehensively supported and uplifted. I would like to recognize Dr. Ana Ortiz, who is our Dean of Education, and Eduardo Leyva, there he is, who's our Director of Educational Opportunity. They were really the driving forces behind our application, and with the many other CSULB faculty, staff, and friends who contributed as our concilio to our application and who have worked diligently for so long to capture meaningful change, to catalyze meaningful change and outcomes for our Latino students and their communities. Thanks and congratulations as well to our fellow honorees. We're grateful for and inspired by your important work. I know I speak for the entire Cal State Long Beach community when I say we look forward to the future we will create with our students, faculty, and staff. Thank you very much.
The next institution that we will announce as having earned the Seal of Excelencia in 2023 is California State University, Los Angeles, represented by Interim President Leroy Morishita.
Thank you, Sarita and Deborah. Cal State LA is very honored to receive the Seal of Excelencia, and congratulations to all the other universities that are joining this group. We are very proud to do so as well. So amazing that it's only 39 of us. We need to double that and triple that and quadruple that number. This certification really affirms and confirms our university's deep commitment to Latino student success. We will continue to be a university where Latino students thrive, and we will continue to graduate students who achieve the lives and careers that they imagined. Nearly 75% of our students at Cal State LA are Latino. Our university has been a Hispanic serving institution for decades, and one thing that is intentional about meeting the needs of Latino students and serving our surrounding communities. With this as our guiding light, we have accelerated Latino student success. We have eliminated the equity gaps for our transfer students, and we have dramatically reduced the equity gap for our first-time freshman students to 2 or 3%. And our university has continued to shine as we move forward. We are ranked #1 in the nation for upward mobility by a number of different groups, and recently we were ranked #1 in the West by Washington Monthly as America's best bang for the buck. So we continue to climb in all kinds of notices from other agencies, and appreciate that. But as higher education confronts a staggering crisis in enrollment and the impact of COVID, we must look to those strategic approaches that serve our students best. And as we do, our success in meeting the needs of Latino students can offer guidance for how we meet the needs of all of our students and how our universities can thrive and continue to be relevant in a changing world. I'd like to thank Excelencia in Education for recognizing our work with the certification. Thank you to all of Cal State LA's staff and administrators who participated in Excelencia's rigorous grant application process. It was very, very rigorous. And thank you to Cal State LA's dedicated staff and our faculty, which was recently rated as one of the most diverse faculties in the nation. Basically, in the continental United States, the only one ahead of us was the University of Hawaii, West Oahu. But most of all, a great big thank you to our students and our alumni who are transforming their lives and their communities every day. We do all that we do so that our Golden Eagle graduates will soar. Thank you.
There we go, Cal State LA, yes, representing. Hey guys, well earned. I'm talking to the TV like, I guess they can't see me. Hi, guys. The next institution that is earned, and I want to be clear, not just recognize, you've earned the Seal of Excelencia is California State University Northridge, represented by President Erica Beck.
Well, thank you, Deborah and Sarita, and the entire team at Excelencia, an extraordinary team to work with. I know we all recognize. On behalf of the students, faculty, and staff at California State University Northridge, thank you for the distinct honor of the recognition with this seal. We are deeply grateful for Excelencia's leadership in accelerating Latinx student success in higher education, and we are proud to advance this work through the Data Practice Leadership Framework on our own campus, but as well as in partnership with all of you, HSIs and SEAL-certified institutions around the country. For CSUN, the seal affirms that we are on the right path, the path of authentically serving our Latinx students and enabling their journey to a life forever transformed by a college degree. It affirms that we are creating and fostering the conditions that accelerate Latinx student success and simultaneously improving outcomes for all of our learners. And it also demonstrates that we have accepted the responsibility to continue to do more until all those who seek an education are able to realize their greatest aspirations. I'd also like to give a very big shout out to the incomparable Dr. Amanda Quintero. An incredible partner who led our campus and a very large team for the very rigorous and extensive application process. A theme, I think. CSUN's history is indelibly shaped by the students who elevated their voices during the civil rights movement and fought for the future that they deserved, and the culturally relevant educational experiences that they expected from our university. The Seal honors their courage in demanding their rightful place in higher education and the hundreds of thousands of CSUN students who have followed in their footsteps, encouraged by the unwavering support and dedication of our faculty and staff, and their singular commitment to shifting the focus of serving our students from demography to impact. I am profoundly grateful to serve alongside colleagues who are so committed and our student leaders who are equally committed. Earning the Seal is just the beginning of our journey as a university and also as a part of this community of practice. So we are honored to join all of you as we work together to create a more learned, a brighter, and a more equitable future for us all. So thank you.
The next institution that we will announce as having earned the Seal of Excelencia in 2023 is Metropolitan State University of Denver, represented by Michael Benitez, Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion.
Wow, first, what can I say? I'm glad I wrote this out, because asking me to go through 3 minutes, it's like asking Bad Bunny to sing a 30-second song. With that said, first of all, regrets from President Davidson as she was unable to attend, but very much wanted to be here. Sarita, Deborah, thank you so very much. Deepest gratitude. On behalf of MSU Denver, we want to express our deepest gratitude to Excelencia in Education for bestowing this incredible recognition and a refreshed beginning upon MSU Denver. And by fresh beginning, I'm talking about one of authenticity, cultivation, intentionality, conviction, and impact beyond the numbers. MSU Denver is humbled and thrilled to be granted the Seal of Excelencia, and yet, as excited as we are, we understand this milestone's recognition's value lies in MSU Denver's unwavering commitment to servingness. Not only servingness at the spirited and cultural space we have come to know as Latinidad and the Latina Hispanic student body, but for all students. For all those that have been recognized this year, it is truly an honor to join you all this year, and congratulations. I want to express my sincere thanks to the SEAL Steering Committee, the HSI Committee, and our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council. In the same light, a very special shout out goes to my dear brother, friend, and colleague, Dr. Manuel Del Real, the driver of the designation bus. I would like to speak into the air also the voices and labor of those who came before us, Dr. Del Real and I, who laid the bricks of foundation down for this work to continue to be sustained. Dr. Luis Torres, who actually led the charge nationally around the asset bill, which started at MSU Denver. So we've always been down for the cause. Among others, including Dr. Cynthia Baron, who's also with us, our AVP of Student Affairs, who played a role in MSU Denver's journey to HSI designation and now the Seal of Excelencia. Thank you. Through coalition and collaboration, we're able to galvanize a collective, intentional, and strategic effort to assure we are practicing what we preach, modeling how we show up, and aligning how MSU Denver serves our students, faculty, staff, and community. Our attainment of the Seal was truly an all-in effort, a team effort, and a collaboration between diversity and inclusion, academic affairs, and student affairs. I would like to give thanks to Dr. Janine Davison and our senior leaders, including with us also Provost Dr. Marie Mora for being such an ally who's also present with us here today. Thank you. The President's and the Provost's commitment to the success of this work is vital, and our board trustees, all who are champions of this work and committed to advancing Latino Hispanic student servingness and the success of all students. Lastly, And an immense shout out to the entire MSU Denver campus community. MSU Denver is a place where, as President Davidson has expressed, we are holding the line on the American dream. The SEAL will serve as a partner to assure we continue to sustain our commitment, that our policies and practices reflect our commitment, and that academic and inclusive excellence are front and center in how we continue to lean into HSI servingness. You could call the Seal of Excelencia abuelitas chanclas that hold us accountable. Let's remember, it's not about me and it's not about you. It's always going to be about who and how we serve. Thank you very much.
Yes, Metro State. All right. You guys look great. Ooh. Oh, hey, all right. Awesome. Great job. We work hard and we also make sure that we celebrate hard, right? So the next institution that has earned the Seal of Excelencia in 2023 is Phoenix College, represented by President Kimberly Britt.
I am beyond grateful to Excelencia, to the thought partners in this room, and those who aren't here, who are thought partners, to be able to share the excellent work in true service to Latino student success and graduation attainment while serving all of our students. Today, Phoenix College is nestled in the heart of the 5th largest city in the nation. But 103 years ago, Phoenix College opened in what was still a small agricultural community. At Phoenix College, we take pride in our long history and legacy that is built on a foundation of service and inclusion. It is marked by the fact that Phoenix College was the first community college to open in the state of Arizona. And today, the first community college in the state of Arizona to earn the SEAL certification. It is no surprise. It is a nod to our founders who opened this college in September of 1920 in a society that was segregated, but we opened to all, and we continue to serve all. Today, Phoenix College serves a disproportionate number of students of color who are low income and non-traditional with first-generation markings. We serve 56% of our student body who are Latino. Phoenix College is here today because of a long list of partners: the City of Phoenix, Helios Foundation, Alienta, the Arizona HSI Consortium, all working together to advance and support this work. We do not stand alone. We are one of 10 colleges in the Maricopa Community College District getting out there on the front lines, making this happen. I want to say to our board president, Marie Sullivan, our board, our chancellor, Dr. Stephen Gonzalez, thank you for leading the way, for clearing the road for us to do this work. To the 10 Maricopa presidents, half of whom are here today, and the other half watching back in Phoenix, thank you for being a thought partner. To our Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost, Bettina Sellis, you stand up for this every day, and we are grateful that you support us in this thought work. But most important, my leadership team, my faculty, my staff, who question the norm, who raise the bar and bring thought and build with scale and determination and unwavering commitment, I am so proud of and grateful to you. We wouldn't be here today were it not for your commitment to our college, to our goals, to our district, but most importantly, to our students. I want to acknowledge 3 people who helped get through this rigorous process. Dr. Heather Cruzy, Dr. Roberto Villesgol, and Ms. Laura Pastor, who have put blood, sweat, and tears into telling our story. And to our students in the greater Metro Phoenix region, this is for you. This is for your dreams, your hope, your future. And we cannot wait to see the impact that you will have on your family, your community, and on us. We are so proud, and I am proud to bring this seal home to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what you do.
The next institution that it is our honor to announce as a 2023 recipient of the Seal of Excelencia is Richard J. Daley, City Colleges of Chicago, represented by President Janine Janowski.
Wonderful. Congratulations to all of you. Already the seal recognized institutions as well as those that are receiving the seal today. I'm Dr. Janine Janowski, and I have the absolute privilege of serving as the president of Richard J. Daley College. I'd like to acknowledge the Chancellor of the City Colleges of Chicago, Juan Salgado. Chancellor Salgado has given us a challenge, and the challenge is to diminish and eliminate the equity goals. And that is so much aligned with serving Latino students that we do at City Colleges. So thank you for that challenge that you had given the 7 colleges of the City Colleges of Chicago, and we're pleased through our work with the Excelencia to work on that challenge. I'd also like to acknowledge a colleague of mine here, President of Wilbur Wright College, David Potash. David Potash leads Wilbur Wright College, and they also are a SEAL-recognized institution. So there's a team that had put together our SEAL application. But I want to take you back 5 years, because 5 years ago, we were sitting in the conference room, in the President's Exec Conference Room, and I asked what I thought was a very simple question. And it is a very simple question, because you probably have asked that same question. I referred to our mission, and I said, how are we living our mission? And then I said, we're an HSI, how are we serving Latinos? The room went silent, because we knew that we had more to do, and we knew that we were up for that challenge. So we worked on thinking about the answers to those questions while we put together a 5-year strategic plan, an equity plan, worked on an HLC reaccreditation, and started down the road of hopefully being recognized and earning the Seal of Excelencia. That was a journey. That was a fearless journey, and that was a difficult journey. But with leadership and thinking about the framework of Excelencia, leadership, programs, as well as data, we are so pleased that we were able to get here today and earn the Seal of Excelencia. So if you think about this for a second, we know that it is an absolute team that gets the work done. So I'd like to acknowledge 3 of my colleagues that are in the audience with us today. Our Interim Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs, Trish Alman. Our Dean of our satellite campus, Arturo Velasquez Institute, Alicia Rodriguez. And our Senior Dean of Adult Education, Teresa Guay. So please know, if I could have, I would have loved to charter a plane and bring all of Daly College here to you. But I do believe there are many people at Daly College, our main campus, as well as our satellite campus, that is enjoying this celebration with us today, because it's with all of them that I stand here. But let me tell you a little bit about Daly College. Daly College is just over 60 years old. We're named after one of the well-known mayors of the city of Chicago. We have a little bit more than 8,000 students at Daly College. About 80% identify as Latino. And when we think of that, those questions that we asked 5 years ago, we were asking those for each one of those 8,000 students. We had a convocation about a month ago, and I opened that convocation for a commitment to our students and something that our students ask us to do by 3 different words. We welcome our students belong at Daly College, and it matters that they have been at Daly College. So those are the 3 words that we have put together in intentionally serving Latino students and intentionally serving all students. Welcome, belong, and matter. My terminal degree is in statistics. So Deborah, you know, we're data, as I've heard many times over these last few days, I will come out and say I'm a data nerd. So when I think of a problem, I always think of that problem and how to come to the solution regarding data. But I'm not going to do that as I end this talk today. I'm going to show you, and I'm going to tell you about just a few of those 8,000 plus students at Daly College. So we had a graduation a few months ago. At that graduation, we had a father who received his HSE or GED. And we had his son complete an early college program, and he graduated with an associate's degree before he graduated with high school diploma. That is Daly College. And I'm not going to go through all 8,000 because I see Deborah standing there and I know what she does. She's going to walk over, but I'm going to tell you one more. Come on, Deborah. She's coming. Oh, no. About 3 years ago, somebody joined us in Chicago from Mexico. She came as an asylum seeker. She was a nurse in Mexico. She was so happy to be in Mexico, but then to come to the U.S. Her disappointment was that she couldn't continue being a nurse. But through a program at Daly College, I'm happy to say that she has received her license to be a nurse. That's Daly College. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Daly representing. All right, Daly. The next institution one announces having earned the Seal of Excelencia is St. Edward's University, represented by President Montserrat Fuentes.
Good morning. Muy buenos días a todos. Saludos, greetings from our amazing St. Edward's students, staff, administrators, and trustees, as we are so humble and excited to earn the national distinction of the Seal of Excelencia. At St. Edward's, we are the only Catholic university, the first private university in Texas, and the second private university in the U.S. to ever receive the Distinguished Seal of Excelencia certification. St. Edward's University has been a proud Hispanic serving institution, or HSI, for more than 30 years, with 51% of our undergraduate students being Hispanic Latino. While our HSI designation is based on enrollment, what differentiates St. Edward's is our intentionality and accountability in ensuring that our Latino students develop a sense of belonging and they are inspired to pursue their dreams and scholarship goals. At St. Edward's, we help all our students to turn goals into actions. There is an institutional commitment to ensure the success of our Hispanic and Latino students. Ellos son nuestro futuro. That is why it's so important for St. Edward's to receive now the significant recognition of the Seal of Excelencia as a reaffirmation of our own identity as institution and our accountability in preparing the next generation of Latino talent. The Seal adds great momentum to St. Edward's journey and a strategic vision to become a destination university for a more just world, and a model institution that provides distinctive academics with experiential learning and internships, an inclusive campus experience, and advances social mobility, facilitating the long-term financial stability for Latino students, their families, and their communities. While the college attainment equity gap nationwide between Hispanic students and their white non-Hispanic counterparts unfortunately continues to widen, at St. Edward's, we have completely closed it. We proudly graduate white non-Hispanic and Hispanic students at the same rate. Muchas gracias to the dedicated faculty, staff, and leadership at St. Edward's, as with great commitment and in alignment with our mission, we have developed, based on data and evidence-based practices, a path for the institution to intentionally serve Latino students. Commitment to the success of our Latino students begins the moment they arrive on campus and continues throughout their academic journey. The university pairs students with mentors, success coaches, and tutors to ensure they have all the resources needed on their path to graduation. St. Edward's also tracks data on the depth, employment, and earnings of our graduates to help ensure our students are leading fulfilling professional lives and have financial stability after graduation. The Seal is now our roadmap, led by data, practice, and leadership that supports our own path towards intentionally serving Latino students and preparing them for success. And it is delivering on this mission by embracing St. Edward's founding identity and purposefully supporting our majority Hispanic student population that we will fulfill our vision of becoming a model and destination university that prepares our amazing students to create a more just, a more humane, a more sustainable world. Con confianza y esperanza, with trust and hope. Gracias to the wonderful St. Edward's campus-wide team led by our Vice President of Advancement, Joe de Madeiros, here with me today. Who put so much love and dedication to prepare a very successful proposal for this significant recognition. Muchas gracias.
That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, así estamos. Okay. The next institution that Excelencia in Education announces as having earned the Seal of Excelencia in 2023 is Texas Women's University, represented by Chancellor and President Corinne Fenton.
Thank you, Sarita. I have to raise this a little bit, sorry. Buenas tardes. You know, there's a deep sense of satisfaction in a recognition when it's hard-earned and when the recognition is fulfilling to one's sense of purpose. Now, hard-earned, you've heard this several times today, Deborah. So, and I will say that that is what the Seal of Excelencia represents to us, both as an individual and as an institution. Texas Women's University was founded in 1901, bringing higher education access to women, I will say white women, in Texas. And since its founding, we have incrementally extended the scope of that mission beyond gender-based exclusion to serve others systematically marginalized in higher education. And we really have developed a specialty, so to speak, a niche in really serving segments of the population that don't typically go to college. And of course, they bring their diverse backgrounds, valuable perspectives, distinctive intelligence and experiences, and it really helps us challenge the status quo in academic pursuits. At the time of our founding, the Texas legislature was divided. I guess they didn't think it was important for women to go to college. And the college came to be on a tiebreaker vote in both chambers. 2 years ago, however, 60 legislative sessions later, the 87th Texas legislature passed the bill establishing the Texas Women's University system with a unanimous vote in the Senate and only 2 nays in the House. So we have come far with our campuses in Denton, Dallas, and Houston, and online. We are now the first university system in the nation with a woman-focused mission. Yet 10% of our, thank you. Yet 10% of our enrollment is male, and they love it, let me tell you. I would say that we have a few decades of experience being intentional in serving a particular population, and in doing so, better serving all of our students. And so it made perfect sense to us when taking that idea for gender and applying it to our Latinx population, now more than 43% of our first-time in college cohort. We also tied for #1 for diversity in the state of Texas and #5 in the country. And as you all know, the lifetime earnings gap between men and women is drastically increased when disaggregating to Latinas. So our focus makes the challenge great, but the potential reward even greater. Intentions are one thing, impact is another. And I'm sure most of you know that famous line of Cuba Gooding Jr.'s, the character in the film, Jerry Maguire, when it says, "Show me the money, Jerry." And that's what Excelencia in Education has asked us. Show us the data. The data that demonstrates your leadership intentions are aligning with your practices. And that's the hard-earned part that I mentioned at the start. When we started this journey with Excelencia in Education in 2019, we had good intentions. Now we have intentionality running through not only the campus, but the entire system, including in our data. I could share a litany of impressive statistics thanks to the efforts of the SEAL process, but I want to share just one. Looking back 10 years, we have been incrementally closing the achievement gap in one-year retention of our traditional cohort between Latinx and white students. Starting in 2019 and every year since, we no longer see any statistically significant difference in 1-year and 2-year persistence between these two groups. Thank you. Persistence is the essential step towards closing the gaps in completion rate, so we are eager to follow these data through the 6-year path to graduation in the next couple of years, and the evidence is looking really good. I want to echo the thanks of others to Excelencia in Education, to Deborah and Sarita, and all of your staff who have been instrumental in developing and executing this SEAL certification process. I also want to congratulate my colleagues and the pioneers who have previously earned the Seal of Excelencia. One of the most valuable aspects of this process is the community of practice that it has built. Again, my deepest thanks to Excelencia in Education for creating this space to learn and grow in community for the greater good for all. While we may compete in more ways than one with my fellow Lone Star Conference members here with Angelo State and St. Edwards, they are an athletic conference. We also, so we do compete, but we also have earned a seal today. And that competition is friendly and invaluable. And it makes us all stronger, including our strength in collaboration. Texas Women's is having a watch party back on our Denton campus. Hi, guys. So let me end with a shout out to our Regents, faculty, and staff. Your sense of purpose and your service to our students is what has earned this recognition today. So let me also thank two colleagues here with me today, Dr. Javier Flores, our Vice President for Enrollment Management, and Christopher Johnson, my Chief of Staff and Assistant Vice Chancellor, who has been leading this process for Texas Women's. And last but not least, the TWU Ambassador, my husband, Chadwick. So thank you both. Thank you all. Pa'lante y si se puede.
Wow. Thank you, Corinne. All right, Texas Women's representing. Lovely. So those are the 9 institutions that have earned the Seal of Excelencia in 2023. Let's give them all a hand again, please. Are you feeling inspired, affirmed, being part of this community of common cause? That's what I want to hear, all right, yeah. I appreciate the comments about how engaging and supportive the process is. It only mirrors what we know our students have to do day in and day out, right? And they have to tell their own story. They have to find ways to navigate a system and structure that wasn't necessarily created for them in a way that can help them meet the dreams and their aspirations they have. And sometimes dreams and aspirations they don't even know are possible for them, that so many of these institutions provide day in and day out. As we mentioned earlier, I started the conversation saying that there were 30 institutions. Now you know there are 39 institutions, and that is very impressive. This is hard work, and they are doing it day in and day out. I think they're doing it whether or not they got the recognition, and the ability for us to tell the story on a larger stage of what they do day in and day out, whether or not the resources, the media attention is there, is incredibly powerful. But the seal is not one that's earned in perpetuity. Well, it can be. But the seal is a 3-year certification that institutions have to come back and recertify for. I remember distinctly that Sarita and I would be going to institutions and listening and learning to communities and efforts. And sometimes we'd see recognition on dilapidated K-12 schools that were no longer relevant, that it didn't hit. And we thought, this is dynamic. Our students, our community are dynamic. These institutions are on a journey that doesn't end with a national recognition. As some have said, it's a baseline, it's a start, it's an awareness builder. We wanted to honor that as well. So we just make it even more complicated and challenging for institutions. So they have to be recertified every 3 years if this continues to align with the values, the mission, the purpose. And we're looking to see not just what they have done, but as they look going forward. That's important. Our students deserve that. And these institutions are committed to being able to articulate the value they provide to their students and to their communities overall through their faculty, staff, and others. So again, for 2023, we have a cohort of institutions that earned the Seal of Excelencia 3 years ago, that made a conscious, value-driven decision to reapply for the Seal of Excelencia and go through the torture all over again. I'd like to acknowledge these institutions now, so next we're going to be sharing with you the institutions that have earned recertification for the Seal of Excelencia. The first institution we announce as having earned the recertification for the Seal of Excelencia is California State University, Sacramento, represented by Provost Carlos Nevares.
Sí se puede y sí se pudo, yes. I want to thank the leadership of Excelencia for this national movement of advancing Latino student success. Let's give them a hand, please. I also want to thank our own Sacramento State, the ones that made this happen and getting that involved application through. We got Eric Ramirez, he's here joining us. We have Amber Gonzalez, both here joining us. We have Melissa Repa and Shiva Pillai. I want to recognize their hard work. Also, yes. Also, President Wood was not able to make, but he sends his regards and congratulations to all the recipients. The Seal of Excelencia recertification shows our commitment to purposely serve our Latinx students. It shows our intentionality of the impact, and that's important to note, impact, and we've been talking about that quite a bit. It's not only about enrollment, getting students in, but ensuring that we have impact, we resource the students the right way to ensure that we increase their student success. What are we doing at Sacramento State? We embrace, one of the things that we do, we embrace our challenges as well as our successes. We have successfully increased the graduation rate for Latinx students from 8% to 28% in the last 7 years. Yes, come on, let's give some love here. Not a small task. This is due to the intentional focus of addressing academic and institutional barriers. So what are some of those institutional barriers that we confront, head on? Removing administrative barriers. We have identified over 24 administrative barriers, and we have an administrative barriers task force that are charged with removing them to ensure that students graduate in a timely manner. What's another challenge? Equity gaps. We are taking a hard look at incentivizing faculty in high FW rates, high DFW rate courses, to have them redesign courses to support students. We got to get beyond this notion of being punitive and more developmental. If a student is not getting the first time, give them a chance to regroup. Give them some feedback, and ultimately they're going to get it. So lenient to the student. That's why we're focusing and in trying to ensure that our faculty continue to lean in and focus on the developmental aspect of teaching and learning. Wellness. The greatest balance we're focusing on a greater balance of resourcing, supporting academic and social emotional well-being. I feel in the conversations we have had today, the focus on wellness has not been really a focal point. And we know that the psychological, social, emotional, mental well-being of our students is key, and particularly past pandemic. It's got to go hand in hand, the academic support as well as the social emotional support. So once we have a balance, we're approaching it from a holistic perspective and approach, and we know that ultimately the student success is going to increase. One of the things we want, and we're very excited to do this today, to show our commitment to further serve our Latinx students today, we are announcing the establishment of the HSI director position. Yes, come on, let's give some love here, yes. And also a cluster hire for next year to increase Latinx faculty representation. So those two initiatives we're committed to supporting and advancing. And I'll probably be in trouble with the President Wood, because I'm not sure if I share this information with him, but no, he's in full support. So, to end here, Sacramento State views our commitment to serve our Latinx community as a moral and ethical obligations. So with that, stingers up.
The next next institution to be announced as earning recertification is Long Beach City College, represented by Superintendent President Mike Munoz.
Thank you so much, Sarita, Deborah, the entire Excelencia team. We are so proud to accept the Seal of Excelencia recertification on behalf of the entire Long Beach City College familia. First, I want to thank the incredible Long Beach City College team, especially our Executive Vice President, Dr. Noel Corral, who's here with us today. The LBCT team is watching live stream right now, so again, thank you, students, faculty, staff. This recertification is because of you. Each and every one of you play a vital role in creating an inclusive and nurturing environment for our Latina, Latino, and Latinx students. Your hard work and passion are the driving forces behind the success stories that emerge from our campus daily. I also want to take a moment to thank our Board of Trustees. Their visionary leadership and their unwavering commitment to equity really allows our campus to dig deep and do this work, so thank you to them as well. And most importantly, I want to thank our students for inspiring us. Their thirst for knowledge, resilience in the face of challenges, and unlimited potential remind all of us of the profound impact education can have on people's lives. These students are advancing their lives and their lives of their families. This creates a generational ripple effect. Despite the myriad of challenges that they face on a daily basis, they are strong and resilient, and we want our students to be proud of their culture. We celebrate their strengths and the assets that they bring with them to the campus on a daily basis, values of hard work taught to them by their families, and the meaning of sacrifice. Our students are truly our greatest motivation to continue this work. The Seal of Excelencia holds a profound meaning for all of us. For us, it's more than just a certification. It symbolizes a promise that as an institution, we will remain unwavering in our dedication to serving Latino, Latina, and Latinx students and uplifting them. And for our Latino, Latina, Latinx students, the Seal of Excelencia signifies that they are just not present on our campuses, but are fully seen and valued at LBCC. We continue to work towards a college campus where every student feels that they truly matter. We want our students to show up as their full selves. We don't want them to feel like they have to hide parts of their identities to feel like they can succeed in college. This certification reinforces that they are an integral part of our community, a community that values their path in higher education and their overall well-being. We will continue to work on taking down the barriers that might prevent them from achieving their goals. Our recertification also serves as an inspiration. The Seal of Excelencia reminds the LBCC familia that we are part of a community that celebrates our unique stories, perspectives, and contributions, and encourages our students to strive for excellence in every facet of their academic journey. Again, thank you on behalf of Long Beach City College's Board of Trustees, students, and employees. We are proud to receive our Seal of Excelencia recertification. We will continue to prominently display this honor for all to see. And now I'm excited to turn the camera back to Long Beach, California, and the amazing LBCC team. Go LBCC!
It's been amazing to see those smiling faces at institutions. It's great. The next institution that's earned the Seal of Excelencia recertification is the University of Texas at Austin, represented by Richard Flores, Deputy to the President for Academic Strategies.
Get this going. Good morning. Deborah, Sarita, thank you very much. This is a great recognition and honor, and I accept this award on behalf of the students, staff, and faculty and leadership at the university that have worked tirelessly over these years to improve how we work with students and assure that they are successful as they pass through the university and afterwards. The work that we did for recertification, as many of you know, was quite rigorous. And there was a whole team who worked on this. And I'd like to recognize them, just take a moment to recognize them. With me today are Doctors Miguel Wasilewski and Marv Hackert over here. But back home, there is a rather large committee made up of folks like Leticia Acosta, Melissa Chavez, Victor Sainz, Lydia Contreras, Cynthia Sanchez, Deborah Paramedina, Robert Valdez, and our graduate student, Valerie Valle. They worked really across, several weeks, thinking through this whole process. I also wanted to recognize, and Deborah, one of your colleagues, I don't know if you know her or not, Emma Dowd at the University of Texas. Emma speaks data. She speaks regressions. I have nightmares about regressions, but she was infinitely helpful and indispensable in this whole project. Recertification recognizes that we are doing something right. And the data demonstrates that we are making progress in some important areas, including new programmatic efforts around student housing, textbook scholarships, tuition benefits, and student achievement in general. Today, we celebrate that work and the work that has brought us here and the contributions of so many in that making. One of the clever things that Sarita and Deborah have devised here is they have us focusing on data. And when we focus on data, we celebrate how far we've come, but we also see rather glaringly how much work we have left to do. I actually think that's the genius of what they've done. It's not allowing us to see our greatness, but to see the kind of places we need to continue working. So recertification allows us to lean into those gaps that we discover. I like to think about it as a coach, an athletic coach. It's easier, they tell us, to coach after a win instead of a loss. Well, this win allows us to lean into those gaps with more intent, and it will animate our future work. I liken this to a book I've been reading recently. I would recommend Think Again by Adam Grant. He talks about researchers and how we often discuss caveats in our work and in our studies, and we explain that our research, has certain holes in it, and that's going to be a window into future work. Our gaps in data are similar. They're not holes in student achievement. They're not holes that we can explain or we explain as being meaningless, but they are portholes through which we can see new ways of moving forward, new ways of innovating, and new ways of strengthening and making sure those gaps are attended to. Today is a celebratory moment, and UT Austin and my colleagues across campus back home who work in this space are deeply grateful for this recognition. But tomorrow, we get back to work. Gracias y adelante.
For those of you in the room and those of you who are watching, we're looking at the clock and we're figuring it out. So the next institution that we are so honored to announce as having earned recertification is the University of Texas at San Antonio, represented by Interim Provost Heather Shipley.
Thank you. On behalf of the University of Texas at San Antonio and President Amy, I'm honored to accept recognition of our Seal of Excelencia. A big thank you to Sarita and Deborah and all the Excelencia associates for your continued efforts to bring national attention to the impact and the importance of supporting Latino students. On behalf of UTSA, I congratulate all institutions who have earned the seal and all our fellow recertified institutions. The Seal of Excelencia is the most representative honor we hold at UTSA. It represents who we are and who we serve. As one of the original 189 institutions designated as a Hispanic serving institution, we embrace our Hispanic serving identity in everything that we do, from honoring our founding history and strengthening our student access and success, to fostering excellence in faculty teaching and research and partnering with our community. We are taking bold, intentional steps to move beyond Hispanic serving to becoming Hispanic thriving. This reaccreditation affirms that our efforts to bolster Latino student success are helping to move that needle, efforts that are fundamental to reaching our strategic goals. San Antonio is the 7th largest city in the U.S. in which a majority are Mexican origin, and yet Latinos only account for 36% of the enrollment in the state at four-year public institutions. With a student enrollment of 59% of Latinos at UTSA, we are proud to serve as a model for our institutions in Texas and in the U.S. how we can close the gap in higher education to drive bold futures. Higher education is the primary driver of social mobility. By aligning our efforts and resources in enrollment, representation, and completion, UTSA is increasing access to higher education, preparing students for career success, and advancing the progress of our Latino students to complete their degrees. I want to thank our leaders, our faculty, our staff, our students, and our alumni who all share our long-standing dedication and commitment to advancing Latino student success and the success of all of our students. Their hard work is why we are here today. Thank you.
Those Roadrunners. I love it. That's good. It's great. Last but not least, and the work going on of those recertified, 5 recertified institutions, is the University of Illinois Chicago that's earned the Seal of Excelencia recertification, represented by Chancellor Marie Lynn Miranda.
So I get it. Now, me, lunch. I get it. Thank you. UIC is very proud to be recognized today through this recertification of our Seal of Excelencia. It is a privilege for me to be here today with all of you, but it is our students, faculty, and staff who have worked so very hard over the last decades to advance Latino education, not just in Chicago and in Illinois, but across the nation. So on behalf of all of them, the people who have done the hard work, I want to thank you for recognizing their efforts. I also want to thank Tim Killeen, the president of the University of Illinois System, and Don Edwards, the chair of the Board of Trustees, as well as the rest of their trustees, for their steadfast support of our mission. UIC's mission is to provide the broadest access to the highest levels of educational research and clinical excellence. One demonstration of our commitment to access is that Latino students make up approximately 36% of the undergraduate population at UIC and 41% in our first-year class. We are proud to be recognized by the federal government as a Hispanic-serving institution, and we are proud that among our first-year students, 72% are students of color. Our commitment to access further means that 56% of our students are Pell recipients and that we have no majority population amongst our students. UIC is also proud that we have more than a $500 million annual research enterprise. This means that our diverse faculty, in addition to being deeply committed to the success of our students, are scholarly powerhouses. This in turn means that our students have the opportunity to work on research with our faculty, an opportunity that has been shown to increase persistence, graduation rates, and student sense of belonging. It also means that our campus has excellent graduate and professional programs, offering follow-on opportunities, as well as, in the form of graduate and professional students, mentors, additional mentors to our undergraduates. We are, for example, very proud to be the top producer outside of the Puerto Rican medical schools, to be the top producers in the United States of Latino physicians. As a statistician, which, Deborah, means that I have a degree in data nerd, as does my colleague from St. Ed's, my longtime collaborator, Monsi Fuentes. I am especially pleased to partner with an institution like Excelencia that emphasizes the importance of using data and analysis to see what works and to hold us all accountable to achieving good things for our students. Our efforts have been informed by decades of engagement with students, with faculty, with staff, with our cultural centers, and with our very large and strong Latino community in Chicago, including many collaborations with City Colleges of Chicago. They are great partners to us. Two examples of stakeholder-informed programs at UIC that rely on data analysis and accountability metrics are LARES and Las Ganas, and the leader of LARES is here with us, Luis Duarte, as several other people from the UIC campus, so thank you to all of you who are here. I know I speak on behalf of all of my colleagues at UIC by saying that we are very honored by the Seal of Excelencia. As we receive it today, we also accept the responsibility that comes with this specific recognition. As that responsibility is a pledge on our behalf, especially in the face of a difficult political environment, to keep our momentum strong and to strive for even greater future success. On behalf of UIC, we are grateful for this recognition, but even more importantly, we are grateful for the good work that Excelencia in Education is doing. I'm not sure what you're going to see because we told them to go back to class. But a big shout out to all those at UIC's Latino Cultural Center who are with us via live stream. Lo hicimos.
That's awesome. I hope they didn't miss class. So there you have it. I know we're a little bit late in time, but it's really important to recognize the people and the efforts that are day in and day out making that positive difference that means so much to our students, but also their commitment to continue the journey to improve, to progress, to make sure that students are centered. That work is not done, and I think you heard that from our colleagues overall. So we have 14 institutions that have been recognized this year, 9 that are certified for the first time, 5 that have gotten recertified. Could we get the 9 to stand again that were just certified for the first time, please? And just recognize that, yes. Yeah. Great. And then, if you would keep standing, yes, sorry about that. I didn't know that. Okay. Could the 5 institutions that have been recertified, have earned recertification, please stand as well? Yeah. All right. Great. Just keep standing. Would the 25 institutions that have earned the Seal of Excelencia in previous years please stand? There we go. Part of this is the importance of seeing these are the people, these are the institutions, these are the 39 institutions that have earned the Seal of Excelencia. They are the leadership that we need as we continue transforming higher education in this country. Thank you for all you do. Please make sure you're paying attention to the work of these institutions. Thank you all. You can be seated now if you want. Yes, I'm going to get to you.
Excelencia in Education is able to do this work because of the steadfast support from those who believe in the future of our country and the capacity of Latino students to rise to their highest academic aspirations. They are the grant makers and investors who have been with us since Excelencia in Education had the idea of the seal. The Gilbert and Jackie Cisneros Foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, ECMC Foundation, the Kresge Foundation, the Lumina Foundation, and the Trellis Foundation. Let's give them a round of applause. Excelencia in Education's community of common cause for accelerating Latino student success in higher education continues to grow, not only in terms of everything that is happening here in Washington, D.C. today, but what is happening out there online, and all that will read the coverage of today and say, I want to be part of that. This is something that I want to do in my community. This is something that I want to see as part of the future. We bring this announcement to a close, and we know the work will continue. All of us, each of us, has the ability to do what is possible in our job, in our community, with our family, and for the future. We come together each year to feel each other's strength, and we move from this announcement with clear evidence of 39 institutions' impact on Latino student success nationally, and we're all just getting started. Thank you so much for being with this community of common cause focused on intentionally serving Latino students. With this, we bring the 2023 Seal of Excelencia announcement event to a close.